Hello everyone, welcome to... Oh, my voice cracked there, sorry, I do apologise. Hello, hope you're all doing well, and welcome to something that isn't Fortnite content on the channel, which makes a change. It is, of course, my Planet Coaster 1 park, Golgotha, which I did a little documentary about Lost Fortress, talking about all the design philosophy and the things that I used, and the ideas behind it. And I've never done one about Golgotha. So today we're going to be looking at Golgotha. First of all, we're going to just head up this queue line. There's a heavy use of bracket pieces in this, pillar bases and hooks. As you can see, the lighting hooks. So this is the first station. This took an afternoon to build. It wasn't too bad. Let's go stand inside. Yeah, nice. So it's all free form mainly. I don't think I used any like gridded pieces. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with Planet Coaster, all free form means you can place them anywhere. So it's slightly more tricky to work with it, but you get that scale and that design, and yeah, you get a lot more control over where you want things to be. All the security guards, I've changed the look of them. I've chose this time of day, sorry, sunset. Yeah, I've got them looking here, and this is Jim T 1945 to 2023. Can you get a good cup of tea there? That's my stepfather, who was sadly lost in 2023, and yeah, he would always ask whenever we went somewhere, could you get a good cup of tea? Now this, I don't know whether you can see it, but this is actually a cog with flowers. We'll probably see it better if we go on the sky ride, which we will do. We'll run back down and go on that. Now the inspiration of all these lighting, it's meant to be like maple flowers on the lake, but steampunk versions. So yeah. Oh, let's go up here. The underside, I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to look like, so I just made it look like a building would, not too grand. And yeah, we've got this nice steampunk bridge. As I say, I'll jump out. Mechanic there, recoloured. Just everything is custom in this. And then where the like steam energy is coming from, bringing it all up into the power pump station to fuel everything on this gigantic city. Constantly full of noise, which I start with the original branding name, Street Fox Coffee. Sweets and Rocks, yeah. So that's the Sweet Sugar Emporium, that's what it's called, yeah. And then we've got staff and toilets, because I wanted it to still function like a real park. I do like these portholes. I might have to borrow that idea. Shutters on all the windows. These are the Haunted Pack. I mean, I miss the packs I really like to see in Planet Coaster 2 would be Vintage Fair, World Fair, and I'm trying to think the other one, Spooky, I suppose. Bring them over. I'd pay for them again, to be honest with you, if we had them at a discount price. They just converted them over. So there is sci-fi pits. We have got sci-fi, and finally on Monday, Planet Coaster 2 is going to get really amazing for me, because it's going to bring back my favourite theme, which is Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale allows me to do a lot of the sort of gothic underlays that I have with my designs, like these big stone arches. They'll be in the game, and I will be able to resize them as well, so you'll be able to make them fit what you want. And we'll have these big archways, so I can create these big stone windows and things. There's a little fountain, nice little design here. We're going to wander around and look at everything. These are not custom planters, but I do have some custom planters on the actual ride, on the actual roller coaster. Couldn't even think what it was called for a second there. And these pillars I really liked. They're basically heart shapes with pillars, angles and things. And there's a clock there, heavily steam powered. There goes the coaster. Oh, sorry, apologies if you can hear the cats. So yeah, I wanted it to feel, so we've got steam vents as well. I wanted them to feel like, you know, this was a place that had steam running all through it, and there was an underground system where it brought steam through to power every ride. So yeah, you've got the steam bit building up. I must say the effects that we have in Planet Coaster 2 are more precise but slightly more awkward to work with. So I would like some blanket ones. Sorry, cat was opening the door, so I muted for a second. We do have comments here. I will go on the, let's go on the, right, let's quickly go on this ride just so you can see what it's like to be on the steam wheel. So yeah, I wanted the kind of movement through. Yeah, the coaster coming round. Yeah, it's, and you've got this nice upstairs area. Just to, how you get up there I have no idea, because I didn't actually put any stairs. I'm trying to avoid that sort of thing in Planet Coaster 2. I am working on another, should I say steampunk? It's kind of steampunk, but it's not like this. This is heavy industrial steampunk, which everyone thinks of. I'm going for a softer feel to it, and I won't say any much more than that. Hopefully I'll have it finished at some point in the future. Yeah, no time scale, because I dip in, do a little bit, and then do another little bit. But yeah, you get the nice, you come up, you get to see that beautiful view of the coaster, all the buildings, the spires, the windmills, I guess, kind of propellers on the buildings. Right, we're going to jump out now. And it sent us back here. Let's get rid of that HUD. There we go. Right, so let's jump on the chairlift. So yeah, look, you can see now, you can see the cog. It's quite clear. Please grab hold of that. Thank you. And now, thank you very much. Is it a thrilling, exciting ride? Yeah, look at that. Wow. No. Okay, yep, this is the one we want to be on. So we get to see the whole movement, and I can show you some details that perhaps we missed. The obligatory pond. I love water features. I'm similar to Matty. I like water in my parks. So yeah, that's why there's a lot of water. Annoyingly, Planet Coaster 2 takes percentage for water, so you probably won't see massive pools of water like this. You could do coastal things a lot easier in Planet Coaster 1 than you can in Planet Coaster 2, which is frustrating for us on console. I don't know why terrain water is tied to the percentage meter. The percentage meter though is more forgiving in Planet Coaster 2, and as I say, Planet Coaster 2 is about to get real good with the Fairy Tale pack. I am so excited for it. So yeah, we come up here. Alvin's just fussing round me, one of the cats. Something's going on outside. So really nice, tranquil, coming up to the next station. All that coastal noise as well in the background noise. It just, I was trying to paint a whole feel. You know, it's very coastal. Let's jump out. And let's get rid of that HUD again. And then we're going to fly up. Ooh, sorry about the jerky camera control. We are flying in here because there's some details down the back here. There's a nice little well with a crow. A custom bench. A little garden. It's just nice little areas. And there is some details around the, oh yeah, look at runoff there for any excess water that may be built up by the steam system. Yeah, it's dumping out. And then I also wanted like waves coming up on, crashing on the side of the, yeah. So it felt like the sea was actually on there. These chains and lights, all this design, it's just phenomenal. And having all these, access to all these pieces in Planet Coaster 2 with the ability to size them would be great. This is yeah, my comment on the Iron Gamers, who I miss deeply, I must admit. It's, Iron Matty, Chrissy P, Welfare, Yan BK, Yan's still creating, Silex is still doing stuff, Albrist is still doing stuff, and Moran G, Flooded Tombs, Kep 1969, Arthur Perno 2, Ramones W. Thank you all to the Iron Games for always supporting all my projects. I would have to add Nerd Chacho to that list, because I watch a lot of his stuff now, and yeah, I'm really enjoying his series lately. And then Golgotha family, Noel, which is me, Shell, Sophie, Emma, Caitlin, Syla, Kieran and Arlo and my grandson. Thank you all for your advice and support, because they did actually give me advice on this park. It took me 2.5 months, and just constant creating. I was really proud of this when I discovered this as well. Yeah, it's just wagon wheels. Now, to get that circular effect, it's easier to do everything horizontal and then lift it vertical to get that full thing. And this is a completely custom spire domes. I was heavily inspired by Silverette with his I've forgotten what it's called now. It begins with V. I know it begins with V, but I can't remember what it's called. Bovara, that's it. Yeah, he took on a project that was equally as insane as this. I mean, this is a few thousand pieces. I also wanted, like, looking out, the trees in the background, to give it a feel that you were actually in a country, like an inlet, and that was the idea. Anyway, we need to go on this coaster. Oh no, we don't. We have the Age of Steam there. In the station we have In Steam We Trust. All the Western pieces as well, being used in ways that perhaps you wouldn't expect. And then we have this nice little square, like I say, steam coming out, steam powered clock. And these are all vases on the side, as I say, using that circular technique. Fairy tale fountain, or yeah, pieces, roofs. See, I think going forward with what I am doing, I'm still sticking to non-custom roofs, just simply because we are heavily restricted on console, and I'm also using standard railing at the moment. Don't hate me for it, because I'm going to put it into rides and everything else like that. So yeah, it's a 7.68 excitement, 5.51 fear, 1.09 nausea, and it was important to get really good results. So 63 miles per hour max speed, 2.44 max lateral, 5.14 G's max vertical G-force, and then yeah, it's not too excessive. One inversion, and an air time count of 4. A very high track scenery rating. Well, of course it's going to be very high. So we are going to jump in, have a look at this. Oh yeah, this park hemorrhages money, but there we go. Yes, it wasn't designed to make money. Let's jump in and enjoy a coaster ride. Trust us to get the one guy who is scared by everything and puts his hand up. Yeah, Bon Voyage is actually a tribute to Volvara, because that's how it starts. It comes out a long tunnel and has Bon Voyage on there. So, good journey. So we shall have another good journey on here, and then I'll perhaps change the lighting and we'll do some cinematic looks, because this is a very, very small park. It was always meant to be a very small park. Right, let's jump into cinematic, and then we are going to go, and then I'll put it on cinematic, perhaps, and change the lighting. I'll talk about a few more things as we go around, as I notice things. Because the airship was actually taken directly from Lost Fortress. However, I knew I didn't want to use the same model because we'd seen that before. Does that make sense? So I love the plane noises flying over. If I could have planes flying over, I would have done. Fortunately, we have movers. Expect a lot more movement from my second part. Hence why I'm using standard railing, because I'm going to be doing some real heavy animated stuff in Planet Coaster 2. The amount of movement I can do in this is very limited, whereas what I can do in Planet Coaster 2, yeah, just brilliant. The movers just make it so good. Anyway, let's enjoy this launch and ride. In fact, let's flip over to daylight and let's rip something apart. So this, yeah, this, as I say, was the standard, but I just added a bit more to it. Like at the front, it's a lot more going on, and I tried to create the movement as much as I can. Now, ideally, I would have that orbiting the entire park, and perhaps have a couple of them slightly different in design. Have this moving. This actually does move the hot air balloon itself, but if I just pull this out, you can see the standard hot air balloon, and then I added all the bits on to give it that steampunk feel. The thief has been caught. Good. I really needed to know that. Thanks, Planet Coaster. Yeah, so it did take a lot of work and a lot of design, but I did enjoy it. There was something else I was going to talk about as well. All these lights, they're perfectly positioned. It took me ages to line them up on there and then get the right position. Then I created the supports afterwards. That's an easy way of doing that. What else can I tell you about this? It's definitely my best part to date. I mean, there's lots of like standard used pieces, like grid pieces. There's also custom roofs and everything, and custom domes. And this is a nice little terrace garden up on the roof. And we have inside, I think, a fairy tale piece. So yeah, that's going to be in the Planet Coaster 2 on Monday. That's going to be awesome. So yeah, I think we'll close out with some early morning pictures, like cinematics of the coaster. But hopefully you enjoyed this like insight into my way of thinking about design and creation and what went into Golgotha. Okay, this time round I'm going to talk about something that perhaps I should have mentioned earlier, and it actually leads me on to another point which I'd forgotten about. Easily done, because there's so much detail and design in this game and thoughts. So on launch, it's actually expelling steam, which is coming out of the whole big steam pump engine. Obviously you need a really big, powerful steam-based system to get this massive hydraulic launch coaster going. I mean, I love this coaster. It can't even invert. It has one inversion. The top hat is kind of recording version. Normally these coasters just launch, go up over a top hat, and then come back down and over a dip, and that's about it, I think. But yeah, I wanted to do something slightly different with it, with a bit more curves, but I had to control the curves and bring it, you know. I may revisit this model in Planet Coaster 2 at some point, but there are some new models in Planet Coaster 2. But yeah, the massive sort of end, that's what this is supposed to be, the massive area that would deal with it. Look, you can see all the huge piping, which is sci-fi piping mixed with Western piping. Yeah, but this is it all on the bridge, and that's why this bridge part exists. And I do like that sort of Victorian Edwardian design that I've got on here. It's so easy to do with the vintage fair pack, because these are individual pieces from the vintage fair pack, Baroque decorative trim, just perfect. Whereas we don't have that. Many guests are thirsty. Well, go and buy a coffee then. Seriously, what do you want me to do? Hold your hand and do everything for you? But yeah, and you've also got a little like encatchment area at the bottom there. Oh, hang on, that shouldn't be there. Nobody saw a thing. I may have been editing that at one point. That probably needs to be there. That's the correct place for it. Brilliant. Alright, I might come back to Golgotha. So how much are we paying for it? $15. They think it has cheap tickets. Fine. They are 20 quid. Now do you want to go on it? Now it's $20. We'll find out. Anyway, gonna leave you with a few more cinematic. We'll change it, actually. We'll change it over to really nice time, which is like just as the sun is rising. So let's go for 7:10, 7:09. Let's have a look. I need to look at the actual, yeah, sunrise. Let's go a bit later than that. Yeah, just as the sun is cracking. I mean, on a lot of classic sort of roller coaster documentaries, yeah, let's go for 10 to 8. You get this sort of morning shot with the long shadows and everything else, and I absolutely love it. Right, let's have a morning ride finally on Golgotha, and thank you for joining me for this. And we will, as I say, I will be returning when I finally finish my Planet Coaster 2 design. I'm in early stages at the moment, but the percentage I'm using, I've got 2 coasters in there at the moment, the percentage I'm using is very small, and obviously I'm using standard railing and stuff. I may change that. I don't know. I'll see. But yeah, there is some non-standard railing in it as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll just close out with some more rides on this fantastic coaster. Probably one of my best to date. Oh, one of my best so far. Stay tuned. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye bye. That is the end, but if you did decide to stay tuned, I'm going to quickly show you something, how most of this was done. Let's just search for bracket. No, actually let's not. Let's just go into no, content pack. Let's go vintage. Yeah, that'll do. Hey, it's the penguin. I miss this pack. Look at this pack, it's so good. If I had this to be repositioned in resized in Planet Coaster 2, whoa, I would be over the moon. And there was also something fantastic in this. I'm going to set it down. I haven't heard it in so long. I was actually watching Lost Fortress playthrough and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about these guys. These guys are awesome. Told you, they're awesome. Alright, so the technique that I mostly use for getting that circular design, let's find something that, where is it? Let's just use this. I wanted something that basically, so you would, first of all, let's check settings. You've got to have average orientation, I think. It's in here somewhere. Orientation is 7. So, averaged orientation in advanced mode. Oh yeah. Uses the average orientation position. Aligned and rotating in the same direction as each other. So yeah, you can have that on. I think that's supposed to be better, but it's actually, I don't know. Yeah, I've got it off for some reason. Okay, so we're going to stick that there. I'll stick that there. And this is pretty much how I did everything on here. Pretty much how I did everything in Lost Fortress, and pretty much how most people do nice circular things. So you get them both together, simply copy, and you can see, you know, there we go. So let's go, and then copy them again. Now you can have actual increments. We've got a lot more control with the design, and you know, the what's the word, the angles. Yeah, you've got a lot more control on the angles in Planet Coaster 2, but the only thing that we haven't got, unfortunately, is it doesn't work quite the same, the rotation in the second game. It kind of does. Okay, and then we would pick that up, and we would go, yeah, okay, angle snap on. That's so much easier just doing it like that rather than having to select the increments you want every time. In Planet Coaster 2, I don't know whether you know, you have to actually select the increments and there's more to go through. So let's just clear that filter and then search for a clock. And then we go clock. And then we go stick to surface, align to surface. And we now have a clock. Now, obviously, to work out, this clock's way too big, so let's go for a smaller clock. But yeah, to work out the size you would want of the hole, so for example, you would perhaps put down the original object you were working with and then scale around that. It's not quite, it's kind of an angle. Yep, there we go. Or we could bring it forward slightly so it doesn't look so messy. Your choice really, but there you go. That's a simple clock face designed and it kind of looks nice. Let's put it in some normal lighting. You guys are great, but you're just gonna have to quit it for a minute. So yeah, that's how you basically get that design. That's that technique. So thank you for watching, and I'll let you take it away, lads.
ba ba da da ba 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 da ba.